Welcome, and thanks for joining us. In this video, we will learn how to support students with the debugging process. After watching this video, you'll be able to define debugging, identify the educator's role in supporting students with the debugging process, explore 5 debugging strategies, and identify 2 to 3 debugging strategies you will bring to your students. Let's dive in. Back in the 1940s, Grace Hopper, who was one of the earliest female computer scientists, was experiencing an issue with her computer. Her and her team discovered a moth trapped inside of it. This bug was causing the computer to malfunction. When the team removed the bug, it fixed the computer. This is where the term debugging comes from. Debugging is the process of finding and fixing errors in computer programs. Everyone, from pros to students, use this process, since it is very normal to come across bugs while programming. As educators, we have a crucial role in supporting students in developing debugging skills. Let's pause and reflect. What are your initial feelings or reactions when a student asks you to help them debug their code? Feeling unsure or nervous about finding the bug is completely normal. And once you find the bug, in hopes of being helpful, you likely tell students where it is and how to fix it. Although this is helpful in the short term by helping students fix their program, in the long term this doesn't support them in developing the debugging skills that are crucial to their programming journey. Guiding students to develop their own debugging skills is key. This includes nurturing their problem-solving and computational thinking skills, like breaking problems into smaller ones or spotting patterns. By helping students attain these skills, we are supporting them to become independent learners, ready to tackle any coding challenge on their own. Debugging can be a fun, but also frustrating process that likely won't feel natural to students at first. As an educator, your role is to provide students with debugging strategies and space to practice debugging so that they can get to a place where they can debug programs on their own. Some of our favorite debugging strategies are check the error console, talk it out, draw a diagram, search online, and take a break. The first strategy, check the error console, reminds students to check the console in their programming platform for hints. Many programming platforms include a console that points students to the exact line of code where the error exists. This console also describes the type of error. This is a great strategy to try first, and can be really helpful when students are missing something small, like a semicolon or a comma. The second strategy is encouraging students to talk it out. Often by just explaining our code out loud to someone, we are able to find the mistake. This strategy is sometimes referred to as rubber ducking, coined by software engineers who would explain their code to a rubber duck. In this process, you might guide students with the following questions. What is working? What isn't working? Describe your code line by line. The third strategy is to draw a diagram. Moving away from the computer and to a piece of paper and pencil can be a great strategy for debugging. In this process, students can draw out a diagram using visuals and words to create a map or flowchart of how they envision their code working. In the example diagram, we model how students might create a flowchart to represent a conditional statement. They can follow the arrows in the flowchart to help them map out their program's decisions. Drawing a diagram can help students visualize how different parts of their code connect and ultimately point them to the bug. The fourth strategy is to search online. This is like having a giant library of solutions at your fingertips. Using resources like Google, Stack Overflow, an AI tool, or other online resources can provide students hints or solutions others have discovered. As students use this strategy, they should clearly describe the problem they are facing, what programming language they are using, and what they've tried already. This will help focus their search. Students should also make sure to fact-check the information they gather by checking the date of the publication, reading through other people's responses, or referencing official documentation for the programming language they're using. Ultimately, searching online can help connect students to fresh ideas or perspectives and make them feel less alone, as they will likely discover others who have encountered a similar bug. The fifth strategy is to take a break. Sometimes when we look at our code for too long, we can't spot what is wrong with it. Taking a break allows our brains to reset so we can come back with a fresh mind. During a break, you might suggest to students to close their eyes, go for a walk, get a drink of water, or take some deep breaths. Let's pause and reflect. We introduced numerous debugging strategies. While embracing all 5 might seem daunting, we recommend selecting 2 to 3 that resonate best with you and your students' learning preferences. Which 2 to 3 strategies do you think will be most helpful to your students? We encourage you to take these 2 to 3 debugging strategies to your students. We also want students to know it's okay to ask for help when they are stuck. When students come to you for help, we encourage you to guide them through these strategies, nudging them towards discovery rather than simply giving them the answer. This way, they will get the support they need while also developing key debugging skills. So, let's review. Now we know what debugging is, how we can support students with this process. We've previewed several debugging strategies and chosen 2 to 3 strategies we will take back to our students. Thanks for watching, and please reach out to Girls Who Code if you have any follow-up questions.